So today we're going out to buy two cars from one car dealer.
One of them is a VW Scirocco R and the other is an extremely interesting thing. It's a Mercedes CL500 V8. It's quite a local journey today. We're only going from Milton Keynes over to Hitchin.
And the choice of transport is a taxi. It's currently en route. What car is it? It is a Toyota Prius in blue. So we're going to get a taxi over there and drive the pair of them back.
If all goes to plan, we'll be driving back in both cars today. So paying for a taxi for two drivers to bring two cars back is the most cost-effective way of doing things. Every time on my journey to buying a car, I always do a little bit of last-minute research just to ensure that I'm going into the deal with as much knowledge as possible. And the total cost to get a taxi from Milton Keynes to Hitchin is £50.70. Not bad at all.
Cool, so we've arrived and the two cars are just here. We've got a VW Scirocco R with 66,000 miles, and then behind the Scirocco is probably the car that I would have focused this video more on, is the CL500 Merc. We'll talk about that more shortly. I'm really looking forward to driving that, by the way, because I don't think I've ever driven that era of CL, but the earlier ones, they just drive so well. They're such a nice car. So yeah, I'm really excited about getting behind the wheel of that. So Scirocco R is a proper bit of us. Obviously, you know, we sell these types of cars anyways. It's like a VAG group R car, you know, Golf Rs, S3s, that type of thing. We sell a lot of them, so there's a proper bit of us. And the deal is basically we buy a lot of part exchanges off of lots of local dealers. We do it all through Enter-Reg. So a car dealer will have a car come in that's not suited to their stock, but then they can put it on Enter-Reg and they can sell the car to someone like us. And we buy a lot of part exchanges, a lot of cars of lots of local dealers in that way. And it's a great way of buying stock because you're building up relationships along the way and you're dealing with people that you're familiar with, and then you kind of know the deal when you get there. Like, I've basically done this deal already, and I'll just come here, double check the cars, make sure we're all good, but they're always good. It's always fine. So we spend a lot of time out and about, as you lot know, buying cars in this way. So let me just come around that side. Scirocco R. I don't know if I've ever had one of these. I say we sell a lot of this type of car, but I don't think we've ever had. We've obviously had a lot of Sciroccos over the years, but I don't know if we must have had a Scirocco R. We must have done. Yeah, what am I talking about? We must have done. So, wicked little car. I remember when these first come out. Obviously the Scirocco brand back in the day was a cool car. Back in the day, the original VW Scirocco was wicked. When this come out, it's quite exciting. Everyone's quite excited about VW announcing the Scirocco. And then they brought out the R, which was even better that they were doing that. And I think this car's got the CDL engine in. It's the same as the Mark 6 Golf R, so it's about 270 horsepower. And yeah, decent little car. 13 plates, obviously a few years old now. 11-year-old car, but it looks good. If we quickly look at all the usual stuff, quickly go through that now. So standard practice, quick car vertical check. You can see it's all clear, the mileage is all good, 66,939. It's got no finance outstanding, damage, no previous damage as well, and it's never been stolen in the past before. You can see a timeline there of the odometer, just to check that that's all consistent, which is good. And anything else to report? Anything else to report? No, I'm happy with all of that. And if we quickly look at the valuation on this car, scroll down to the bottom, this is with Enter-Reg again. The market trade value, according to Auto Trader there, is just over 8.5 grand for this car. So I'm looking at it thinking, this is all right. This is all right, it's got heated seats. But I tell you what, we'll switch that off. We'll take that one for a little drive shortly. So I even want to drive that. I've driven so many of them cars or Sciroccos with that engine. This is what it's all about. This is the car that I'm here for. CL500. So is it a 5.5 litre V8? They're over 400 brake horsepower, these cars. It's in black as well, which I think is the best colour, isn't it? It's got a sunroof. Wheels are in pretty good condition. I love them wheels, but I love the fact they've got the big AMG badge stamped in them as well. Front end looks nice. Like, black cars are never forgiven at all for stone chips and stuff, but it looks really clean on the front. It's got that washer cover missing there, but apparently that is in the car, which is good. Roof's all good. It needs a good clean up, you know, it needs a polish and stuff, but overall it looks really, really clean. Even the quality of paint on these Mercs, I'm sure they use, if anyone out there's, you know, deals with painting brand new Mercedes-Benz, I'm curious to know, do they use a higher quality paint? It's just like the paint is nicer than it is on, say, you know, a black Civic, a Honda Guinea. It is though. It actually, like, if you look at the paint on your car, Mark, compared to the paint on this looks like,
night and day, innit?
It actually does, yeah. So yeah, I like that about it as well. It's nice, condition-wise. it's all looking good. It's looking like it's maybe sitting a little bit low. Is it sitting lower than normal? But we'll see if it rises up when we start the engine. I love big fat luxury cruisers, man. I love V8s as well. Like, this is literally my kind of car. This is pure luxury. Look at the interior of this car. It is a joke in here. I was gonna say, is it a bit dated in pictures? I look at them in pictures on Auto Trader and that, and I do this all the time. I'm sure everyone, well, we all do this. We go on Auto Trader and we just obsessively look at cars, and you sort of vision yourself in the driver's seat of one, and you look at the pictures of them, and you like it. You put yourself in the seat like you own it, and I do that all the time. And I've done it so many times with one of these cars. I've always been so curious to drive one. And the CL63, I suppose, is the ultimate. That's the one you kind of want to get your hands on. In fact, I got offered one of them this morning. I'm trying to do a deal with him. I don't think it's going to go anywhere though, because he wants a lot of money for it. But just to get into a CL500, I am actually super happy about that. I'm even looking forward to just seeing the dash all glow up. Look at that. So this car's got loads of service history. It's actually been maintained by these guys here as well over the last few years, which is good to see. And let's fire it up. What a sound, just purrs, sounds good. Obviously no silly filters. It will have catalytic converter, so it will dampen the sound down a little bit, but it sounds incredible. Let's have a little quick look under the bonnet. Again, you'll see that, like, when I'm buying a car from a private seller versus buying from a trader, when you're buying from a private seller, you've got to be not on your toes, but you've got to be on your back foot a little bit. You've got to make sure you're 100% certain with that car, because once you've done the deal and paid the money, it's 100% done. It's you know, it's your car, it's your problem. Whereas when you're buying from a friend in the trade, it's just a lot easier. If there's anything not quite right, you can literally go back to your guy and say, look mate, the gearbox is hanging out of it or whatever. So it's just not quite as much pressure buying in the trade. Even when you're buying from auctions, and I say it's a lot about auctions, people are quick to slag off the local auction house, BCA or whoever, but what they do is BCA, and I'm just gonna use them as an example, but all of these companies, they do such a good job of describing everything on the website, and then providing that car meets that description, which it usually does, then you know you're a happy buyer. And that is exactly how Enter-Reg works. People put their own descriptions on there, they describe cars to a T, and the idea is you can literally send a recovery driver, which is what we usually do, and they pick it up, bring it back, and it is exactly what we expected when it arrives. So, but obviously in as many cases as possible, nice golden oil, very, very nice. In as many cases as possible, I do try to get out on the road myself, because I like to get out, I like to see the cars, I like to drive them. I say this all the time, I love driving cars, I love experiencing different cars, I get excited about that all the time. And not just for my own enjoyment is it good, it's also good for the business, it's good for stock, because if I drive this car and I've experienced it and I've driven 50 miles in it, I'll probably drive a few more than 50 miles in this car, then I can, you know, when it comes to selling it, not that I sell cars, I only focus on buying myself, so my role in the business is never selling. It's all good, let's just get that. Yes, sir. Time waster. My role is buying, basically, and I'm happy with the big, look at that engine, look at that beast of an engine, man. That is unreal, isn't it? Sounds good as well. So, what we're gonna do is, I'm happy with this. Let's quickly have a little look at the car vertical on this one. Obviously, again, I say it all the time, I know I'm doing this live here on camera, but I've done all of this before I came here, because it's so important that you don't want to waste your time, your money, your energy going to look at a car and then getting there and doing your checks when you get there. You kind of want to provisionally agree a deal over the phone. Even if you're buying privately, you want to get it all agreed on the phone before you go there, agree money, agree condition, agree as much as you can. Obviously, some people do lie, you know, there is that sort of as a discrepancy, but you want to get as much as you can done before you head out, and then go and head out and hopefully get the deal done. So yeah, I've done this already, and again, I can confirm with the CL, odometer's good, finance is all good, it's got no previous damage, and it's never been stolen before. I'll show you an example. I'll try and find a crash example of one of these. I don't know if I will. I'll definitely be able to find a crash example of one of them. And that is exactly what you do not want to see when you're doing a car vertical check. I'll talk about finance as well. If a car's got outstanding finance on it, it's a big problem. It's really, really important you do your checks. I'm a car dealer, yeah, and I make sure I always do these checks. It's so important. And if you're going to use car vertical, use my code CCD. I'll link them in the description below. Make sure you do it, yeah? Make sure you get on it. Is there anything else I want to talk about whilst I'm here? 5.5 litre V8 right-hand drive, 7-speed gearbox. I love all this stuff, man. manufactured January 2010, registered March 2010, and then you've got the whole list of inspected, ownership change, license plate change to this V8 EEK, which annoyingly is coming off the car, but it's got all of that within Car Vertical as well. Again, all this stuff is so valuable when you're buying a used car. So I think what we'll do now, guys, is, I mean, I'm happy with the overall appearance of that. It's really hard to look exactly because we're sort of boxed in the corner here, but I'm happy with the overall look of it. I've had a real brief look over it. Obviously, I've seen loads of photos and stuff before I headed over here. Where on the seat? Did I tell you the mileage on this, by the way? I don't know if I did. 100, I haven't, have I? Sorry, guys. 105,000 miles, which, you know, it's not a low mileage gem, but it is very low mileage for the age of the car. So, and these engines, they've got a very good reputation. No way, double glazed windows. We've got double glazed. Let me just sit back in here again. These just, you can just see straight away there's extra effort made on the interior of this car. And then the exciting bit about this car is the value of it. So this car would have been over £100,000 new, man. Like, that is crazy. And if you look down at what it's worth today, so here it is here, 2 former keepers, which is good, I didn't mention that. MOT history, it's got it all on enter reg as well. Valuation, so in the trade, cap clean is £5,600. So you've got clean, average and below, that's conditions of the car, yeah? So they're the trade values, and the retail value according to cap is 7,825. The trade value according to Auto Trader is 5,600, and basically the same as cap. So cap and Auto Trader are almost identical, and the retail value according to Auto Trader is quite a lot higher than what cap is saying. It's £9,000, cap is saying 7,800. So it's a really difficult car to put a price on, one because it's old, and two because there's not a lot of them on the market, so there's not a lot to go by. And every car varies, like spec-wise and condition-wise, history-wise. There's so many variations within every car on the used market, and when there's not a lot of them, it's really difficult to place them. But we'll have more of a look at that maybe later on in the video. But that gives you an idea on the valuation of the pair of the cars.
What would you say, like, the hardest car you've ever had to, like, price?
The hardest car I've ever had to price?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Do you know, I'll tell you what the hardest car I've ever had to sell is a red Mini. Like, they just don't sell.
Yeah.
A red Mini. But hardest car I've ever had to price. I think classic cars are generally quite difficult to price because, again, because they're old, they're difficult to put a price on. And there is no valuation system that will correctly value a classic car. And then with classic cars, you've got condition is a big part of it because they rot. They're old, so they're more worn generally. Some of them have been restored, which is a big factor. So generally classic cars are harder to value, but then there's the potential of earning bigger margins, because if you get the purchase right and then get the sale right, if it's a nice car, you've got a nice big margin in the middle, and that is what we want, guys. We'll go for driving this shortly. I think what we'll do, do I even need to drive that Scirocco? Should we just do it anyway, just for the sake of the video? Let's get the Scirocco drive out of the way first, make sure that drives all right, and then we're going to end the video with me in the Merc. So the Scirocco, it's driving all right. I think the two most important things to look out for with a car with one of these engines, or this era of VW and Audi, is the cam belt. It's really important. The cam belt's been done, because that's quite an expensive job. You don't want to be buying a car with hope to make a profit on it, and you've got to spend money on a cam belt. Obviously, if you account for it when you're buying a car, it doesn't matter so much, but it's probably £500 or £600 to do a cam belt on this. And on this car, it was done at about 56,000 miles, so that's all good. The other thing that these are quite common for, and it's pretty much all VW, Audi, manual gearbox cars, is the clutches. They're not very strong clutches. Traffic here, you can let me go? You let me go? So we just want to make sure the clutch is all good. Again, like I said earlier, because we're buying it from someone we know, I'm not too concerned that it's going to have much wrong with it, but it's just nice, even for the sake of the video, it's good for just get in the driver's seat, have a little feel for it, and just be sure that we're 100% happy with it. And so far, it's driving really well. But what I was going to say is, both the CL in particular, it looks derelict, it looks unloved, it looks like it needs saving. I'm looking forward to getting that car cleaned and seeing it finished, ready to advertise, because it's going to look so good. Even this is a nice car. Let's have a little feel for the power. It's quick, but it is stock. For a stock car, it's feeling good, but the clutch is all good. Clutch feels strong, feels fine. There's definitely no issues with that clutch, so I'm happy with this one. The bit that I'm most excited about is, I ain't even told you the deal yet, have I? I've not even told you the deal that we've done. Let's not talk about the deal until we're 100% happy with both cars. We'll jump in the driver's seat of that Merc, and yeah, that's going to be the most exciting part of the video. For me, it is anyway. Hopefully you lot are just as excited as I am. Let's go. Even the weight of that door, like, it's so heavy. And the soft close as well, see that? Look at that, double glazed windows. Even this is cool. Oh, what's that in there? What is that? It's like a torch, like a Mercedes badge in it. Oh, there's the cap that's missing. Oh no, that's not it, sorry. Oh, that's it there. The cap that's missing off the front, so it's good that we've got that. That needs to get put back on. What's also quite cool about these centre consoles is it's like they've been made for both left and right hand drive cars, because you can access it from both sides. It's got a two-way hinge, so it hinges on both sides, which is pointless fact, but it's quite interesting. I'm looking for a cup holder, but I'm getting carried away with just exploring all these features. There's so much stuff. Even the button layout, like the way that to modern day terms you wouldn't have this. Everything's so much more simple now, but back then it was all about being bold, being out there, and these buttons they are bold. They're just, even the texture that's on the buttons, listen, even when the doors lock, it just sounds solid. This is when Mercedes, not to say Mercedes ain't good cars now, they're a brilliant car, but back in these days Mercedes were absolutely solid. I think a spec option this has got, by the way, is look, put the headrest up and down with a button on your door, guys. Anyway, where's that cup holder? Just in there, innit? There we go. Let's do that cup holder. Just pop to the town, just get some food, which was nice. A little coffee, start her up again. Beautiful. So let's do this. Let's do this, guys. I think before I do anything, it needs to get fuel. In fact, the pair of them need fuel. We've actually done the deal. We've paid for the cars. We've done all the paperwork. I'll talk more about the deals shortly. But before we do that, let's go stick some fuel in and have a feel for this V8. Petrol. We've got petrol, guys, in the pair of them. Look at this. And even the white seat. I was going to say as well, the black and white colour combo, I like that. Like, if I was to spec myself a car, I love cream leather, but cream carpets ain't no good, and I love a bit of black on the dash as well, and you've got like a bit of a combo. So if I was specking one of these from new back in 2010 when this car was manufactured, I think I would have spec'd my interior the same way. Even this dark wood, I'm not a big fan of wood finish in general, but I think it looks right in this car, doesn't it? It does look good. Little clock in the middle of the dash there as well. Did I mention about this keypad as well earlier? Little things like that. It's obviously in keeping with the time that the car was built, but yeah, it's all nice to see. Even got this. What's this? Driver's seat. Lumbar. No way! Electronically operated lumbar. Oh, it's in the back, you can feel it. That is mad, isn't it? All this stuff back in the day when this car came out would have been unreal. Even these little buttons in the middle here, I don't even know what they do, but they just look cool, man. So service light, I didn't mention that earlier. It has got a service light on the dash, but I'm pretty sure the servicing is up to date. If it's not, we can get that double checked. It's not a problem, not the end of the world. Leather's all mint, looking good. So far it's driving really nice as well. Let's put out of this petrol station in front of the Jazz. Oh mate, this is luxury. This is unreal. Listen to the purr. Listen to the purr. Obviously it's on stock exhaust, so imagine the sound this thing could make, but it would be wrong for the car. I think even if I had a CL63 AMG, I'd keep it tame from a noise point of view, because you would still hear a bit of a purr coming from under the bonnet, but it would be dampened by the exhaust system. It ain't a C63, it's a CL63, and the same with this. It's a cruiser, it's a luxury cruiser, but you can just hear, you just know you've got 8 cylinders under the bonnet. Performance-wise, we'll have a little feel for the power in a sec, but they're obviously a quick car. I don't know what like the performance figures how they're compared to a modern day car, but they're a lot of power. They're heavy. I'm not sure what weight they are, but I'll put it on the screen now. But yeah, big heavy car. But that ain't what this car's about. It's all about the luxury. Even that, look, electronically operated steering column. Even the steering wheel itself, like this sort of it's plastic, but it's like a wood effect on the steering wheel. I like that. It gives the car sort of a premium feel. Also, whilst I was at the petrol station just now, I did notice that the suspension has actually come up at the front, so that's not a concern either. And like I was saying earlier about it being old inside, like, I mean, it might look old to you guys through the camera, but as I'm sat here now in the cockpit of this car, I don't feel like I'm sat in a really old car. It doesn't feel old, it feels premium, it feels quality, and it feels I don't want to use the word modern because that would be a bit over the top, but it doesn't feel dated at all. So I feel like if I was watching a review on one of these cars, with it in mind about to buy one, I'd want to know that. I'd want to know, does it feel old? Does it look old? Has it got Bluetooth? Has this car got Bluetooth? Bluetooth phone? I'm not sure, but surely it has. I've got a telephone thing there. Even this, like the infotainment system, is very much like the same infotainment system that was in like the 2013 onwards Mercedes A-Class, so which is quite a modern system really. It does say no phone inserted. So I don't know if we're able to connect a phone via Bluetooth. Is that a possibility? Data and connections, Bluetooth telephones. It's got Bluetooth. I know that sounds crazy, like you'd kind of expect a car of this caliber to have Bluetooth phone, but it's nice to see. I don't know, maybe I'm silly to expect that it didn't have it, but it does have it. Sunroof is lovely. Another lovely feature on these cars is, check this out, pillarless doors. So when you open the door, you don't get a pillar in the way, and when you undo the windows, look at that, man. Look at it. This is nice. It's 21.5 degrees in a minute as well, so the sun is shining, the weather is good, it feels warm. Obviously we're gonna have wind noise, probably killing the mics on the cameras at the minute, so I'll probably have to put them back up, but as soon as them cameras are off, guys, I am literally getting these windows down and enjoying this car on the whole journey home. I think what I might do now is should we get in front of this? Let's get in front of this car here quick. He put his thumb up. I don't know if he's put his thumb up because he's annoyed with me or he's happy for me. He's pretty happy for me because I've got my big Merc. But I want to have a feel for the power. So we're about to enter a little country lane where speed limits are slightly higher than they are on the road that I'm currently on. I'm going to slow right down, press OK to get rid of that service light. And whilst doing this, I want to have a feel for the gearbox as well. Put your foot down, away it goes. It's a big boat, but it's pulling really well. It sounds the part. And problems-wise, it literally doesn't have anything wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with this car whatsoever. It's done over 100,000 miles. It's 14 years old. It's an old V8 Mercedes. Is it going to be reliable? I reckon definitely. I feel like it would be a reliable car. Is it going to be good on fuel? Definitely not. Am I impressed with it? Absolutely. The gears are doing as they should as well. Let's close that sunroof because, again, I don't want to kill you with wind noise. But I'm happy, man. It's a car that I've kind of always wanted to get my hands on, and I finally got my hands on it. It's going to make a wicked bit of stock. I say it all the time, this is the joy of being a car dealer. I get to experience all these cars, and it's what I'm all about. I love cars, I'm passionate about cars, I'm obsessed with cars, and I get the opportunity to just put my foot down today in a CL500 and enjoy the journey home. So I thought the camera just stopped then. Did it stop? No, it didn't stop. So yeah, the deal, by the way, I've basically given just over £14,000 for the pair of these cars. If you look online, even just Scirocco's alone, you can't even get one for less than £10,000. So that car with the mileage and the spec that it's got, well, you still the valuation, it's a 12 grand retail car. It does need a little bit of TLC, a little bit of prep before you put it up for sale, but it's a good car. So this, on the other hand, really difficult to put an exact price on this, but it's a bucket list car and we should hopefully make a profit on the overall deal. There is one more thing. If you're a car dealer and you've got any part exchanges you want to sell, or you want to buy stock, or you just want to get on board with a community of car dealers, I'll link Enter Reg in the description below, and I'll also link Car Vertical in the description below if you want to do your car checks and stuff, and make sure you use my code CCD to get a discount. Oh, and on Enter Reg, if you're a private seller, you can sell your car. Yeah, so there's lots of private sellers out there. Get on there, enter your reg, and I'll link you to the most relevant car dealer in the country, all right?
After filming this video, we got both cars back. We cleaned, advertised and sold the Scirocco straight away, and then we give the Mercedes a good valet, and after cleaning it we noticed there was like a red mist over the whole car. So we clay barred it and machine polished it, and by the end of it, it was looking absolutely stunning. And as soon as we advertised the CL, it also sold straight away, and I made a tidy profit across both cars.